here in Bordeaux to visit some of the most iconic estates, taste their brilliant wines, and get to know the people behind them. So follow me as we discover Bordeaux together.
Stephanie, the 2022 vintage is much anticipated throughout the world now, I think, with early reports of a great, even a stellar vintage. How do you see it globally for Bordeaux and then more specifically for Angélus?
Yeah, I think stellar vintage is a good attribute. I think we have an extraordinary vintage that comes a bit as a surprise because, you know, we had these weather conditions during summer that were not easy but tough because of the drought. So it was not coming as an evidence that 2022 was going to show that well. This vintage for us is out of range, out of record, because when we have a look at the Cabernet Franc during the harvest,
which is what, sort of 30%?
It's going to be 40%.
Okay.
They are absolutely stunning. They resisted so well to the drought. These Cabernet Franc were planted between 45 and 55, so they are old Cabernet Franc. And the resistance they've shown is extraordinary. I talked with my father, he has a bit more history than myself, and he was saying to me, I've never seen this Cabernet Franc that beautiful, you know, like big bunches, grapes, juicy, nothing shriveled or shrunk or raisins, not at all. And this is due to, I'd say, all the work that has been done for the past decades on the soils, particularly the vegetal layers that allow to keep the freshness, to avoid
and a bit of humidity as well.
Exactly, the humidity, and to avoid evaporation. So this was so beneficial in this particular vintage. So what I like so much about this vintage is really the fact that it is so complete. And you know, since 2016, I've been working on the little notes, tiny evolutions that I could bring to the start of the wine. Sometimes, from time to time, depending on the vintage, we could find a little bit the wood, let's say during the 3-5 years, beginning of the wine life. It's very interesting that so far when we taste with négociants, courtiers, wine critics, they really pick that. I don't need to say it. They say, you know, this purity, the aromatic purity is really coming out. The tension, the acidity is really present. And I like this, it's very vibrant. There's a lot of energy, but as I said, really subtle, delicate, and evolutive.
Yeah, it's a very powerful wine, but underpinned by an elegance and a minerality, which...
The minerality, bit of...
salinity.
Salinity,
yeah.
Exactly. Salinity that I really like the end. You want to come back to it, a bit of sapidity as well. You know what I found extraordinary about this vintage is the full harmony. I've been asked many times, okay, what's the secret of making great wines? Or, you know, what's the recipe? No one can answer. There's one thing, is the balance and the harmony. And it feels like everything, all the components are in perfect harmony, perfect balance. And I think that's one of the really aspects that can make us tell that it is a stellar vintage.